Mythgard is currently running a promo where over the course of the next week, they're going to be releasing 6 codes. There's 6 colors in this game that you can get the entire core set for free. So they have 3 sets in this game, a total of just under 700 unique cards, if I recall correctly, and the core set is 450 of them. So if you're hesitant to like try a new game, you don't really want to dump money and buy into it, and you want to really try it and even get to build your own decks in the meantime, the first 2 codes, Discode Norden and Wholesome Harmony there, will get you 2 complete copies of 2 of the colors, and they'll be releasing the other 4 codes here momentarily over the next week, I believe. Now, actual gameplay. So Mythgard has colors similar to Magic, but unlike Magic, there isn't resource variance in this game. So like some other card games have done in the past, you can take any card in your hand in this game and turn it into a resource. You'll note I burned a card there, and it gained me 1 resource and 1 orange gem. And this card costs 1 total resource and 1 orange gem to play out. The gameplay in Mythgard is played on this 7-lane board here, and your units attack into potential blockers on the other side. You'll note when I mouse over this card, it highlights these 2 squares in front of it because your units are only blocked by the things in the 3 lanes directly in front of them, or the 2 directly in front of them if you're on either of the outer lanes. That's true, Seth. If you donate for good decks, they get played for a pretty long time now. Let me make sure that Mythgard. Speaking of feature to feature, Mythgard has a first-party extension. So give me a second to activate it, and you should be able to mouse over cards in my hand and on the game board now. They played what's called a lane enchantment here, so any minions that threaten this have Fragile 1. So that means any of my minions I deploy here are going to be fragile and take more damage. I'm going to go ahead and smack their face here. I'm gonna go ahead and burn this to heaven and back, I think, here. It looks like my opponent's deck is playing a more controlling deck, and I'm playing a mid-range deck, so how my deck plays out is going to change based on how my opponent's deck plays, and it looks like I'm going to be the aggressor in this matchup based on how we're starting, and when you're being aggressive in Mythgard, you want to spread your units out as much as possible to make them more difficult to block. So I deployed my first unit down here on lane 1, I'm going to deploy my second unit down here on lane 7, and by spreading them out like this, it makes it so my opponent isn't able to deploy a single unit and block multiple of my things, is ideally what I'm looking to set up here. That is a 3-1. Jedi Master, thanks for the follow this evening. I'm gonna attack here, and then here's a good example of Mythgard's lane-based combat system. You can see I go to attack forward here, but I can't go to attack their face because there's a blocker in one of the 2 lanes that I'm threatening here. And you can see when I draw the arrow here, these things are gonna trade in combat, and the interface tells me that before I decide to make that as a decision. And I think I'm okay with that choice. Let's go ahead and smash in here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and burn this blue card so I can deploy a blue card. Because, like, I can't play these yet because I don't have a blue gem yet. So I need to burn a blue card to get a blue gem. Is this burnable? This is burnable. That's interesting. I think I want to burn that one. Let's put this here and put this here. This card's a really sweet example of how Mythgard's resource system works. This card lets us spend these gems over here to get an added effect. So this doesn't actually cost me total resources. It costs me unused of my thresholds here in my colors. So if I can use up 2 of my orange in order to give this 2 extra attack until end of turn. Sundown means until end of turn. Evening, King Kojo. Streaming takes a lot of time successfully, King Kojo. That's why a lot of people who are like, I'm like a mid-sized streamer on Twitch, people that are actually big streamers, generally speaking, have like an agent or someone that manages that type of stuff, so all they do is stream.
The waters rise.
Reduce the mana cost of enchantments in your hand by 1. When you create an enchantment, deal 1 damage to minions that this threatens. So that blows that up. That's rough. So this does 1 damage to the occupant of a lane and 2 to adjacent lanes. So if I do this here, this will kill the one in front of me and deal 2 to that. So I think that's good. Yeah, Mythgard's great. King Kojo, I've played this game a bunch. Number of times in the past. And then the in-game, for people asking where you input the codes to get the free core set cards, you go to the store tab. It's all the way on the right. So I have some unused orange gems here, so let's go ahead and pump this up. Smack you for 4, smack you for 2. Got 1 leftover resource I can't do anything with here, but that's fine. Yeah, you gotta scroll. It's all the way on the right. Mythgard's got a lot of really unique ideas, and as someone who is something of a software dev himself, I really appreciate the quality of the software in this game. Like I said, feature to feature, Mythgard is more feature complete than literally any other card game on the market, which is impressive considering this is literally an indie company that makes this. It has that many features. Yeah, way more. Wait, was that Fragile? Was Fragile 2? It must have been. Like, for example, here's my in-game deck tracker. I can click over to here to see the cards that my opponent has in their deck that they've burned, or cards in play. It has a full replay system in client. You can spectate matches that are going on the ladder. Obviously, you can't see the players' hands because they're ladder matches, but you can spectate things that people have going on that are being playing. You can watch them after the fact. You can grab deck lists right out of there that other people are playing. Yeah. Yeah, feature, like I said, feature to feature, nothing else comes close. We drop my own enchantment here, so anything I put in this lane gets +3/+3.
Yeah.
Just chunk them down to 10 here. I love the tactile response when you get to click around on the board. It feels good, man.
Yeah.
It's occupying minion gets +2/+2 as immunity to damage from fragile minions. This is like their combo they're setting up basically, right? They're setting this up and they're making my minions fragile. So they're at 10. I think we burn the Scion of the Pride here. And then this gives minions that it threatens fragile 2, which means Forked Lightning can kill this. So if I play this here, and then we play Forked Lightning. Wait, what? One of these. I don't know where the remote is, buddy. Daddy's working right now.
Is all the way up.
Your minions have fragile and what am I missing here? Minions this threaten have 1/0 and fragile 2. Why doesn't this have fragile? And I guess I played this here.
Yes.
What am I missing? The claim? Enemy minions have +1 fragile. Your minions have suppressed. No, this is your minions. Enemy minions have +1 fragile, and your minions have fragile and suppressed. Oh, their minions are suppressed. So that means their things don't have text on them. Is what that means. Oh, they have fragile suppressed. Your minions have fragile suppressed specifically. Okay, all right, that makes sense. I understand what I messed up now. Okay, well, we'll move away from that, I guess. And this comes into play and messes all their stuff up at least.
Yes. Brilliant.
To the person who asked a second ago, no, you do not play on your opponent's turn in this game. So you play on your turn, and then they play on their turn. Oh, this one doesn't have a circle on there. I guess I just trade these off. I don't think I want to burn any of these. Dropping parry has agile, which means it can attack past blockers. So we'll want to drop parry down here in the giant stairway next turn, I think. And hopefully be able to push out some lethal with that. It'll depend on how they deploy to the board this turn. They've got 3 cards left. We're on Summer here, so we're going to draw a card next turn. Agile equals elusive. Not quite. So agile means you can attack past their blockers, but if they had all of the lanes you could attack into with units in them, you couldn't attack past them. So basically, in Mythgard, you can see when I mouse over here, this lights up 3 lanes. So these 3 lanes block this card. And normally when attacking, if they have any blockers, you have to hit those blockers. But Agile says you can attack past blockers if there's an open lane. So it's a conditional evasion, if that makes sense. So if I do this, it does 2 to everything, and then I can burn this for a 3rd blue resource, and then I can Forked Lightning to kill these, and then I can go hit you. Okay. It's not quite Trample. So there's also Overwhelm, I think is what it's called in Runeterra, or in Mythgard, where it's just so many card games, where you attack and extra damage you would deal past the blocker hits them still. So there's a Trample adjacent thing as well. Fuck, they drew Earth Slide. Overrun, yeah.
This is a nice spot.
Well, that's unfortunate. I just burned my clap. I guess we could draw. We have 1 more clap in my deck. Where do I want to deploy this parry at? I feel like I want to go trade this here, bump this here, play parry here so I can try and attack through the middle. Let's see if we did their Thunderclap. We did not. It's a draw 2. Oh wait, why was that dying? Oh, it was Fragile 2. Shit. Well, I messed that up. I should have put Dark Passenger on there so I can draw a card. Oh, and this is Fragile, so it's gonna die here as well. We're at 13. Are we dead? This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm almost dead here. Are there any 3-color decks floating around? Yeah, we played a little bit of 3-color control last week on stream. Earlier this week on stream. They all blur together. I think we're gonna die here. The second Earth Slide. So one thing I didn't talk about tonight is that the rarity of a card in this game actually determines how many copies of that card you can play in your deck as a balancing mechanic. So Earth Slide was a card they'd already played a copy of, and it's a rare. There's 2 dots here, so they could only have 1 more copy of it. So I elected not to play around the second copy of Earth Slide because they could only have 1 more, and there were only 14 cards into their deck or whatever. Does this game have a good tutorial? Yeah, it does. There's also, Mythgard also has a set of in-client, game was close, second Earth Slide was good. There are in-client puzzles in Mythgard that kind of give you like, what's the play style board states where we have to figure out how to win the game that turn. That's a great way to learn how to find your way around. Yeah, the PvE story campaign also does tutorial type stuff, but the puzzles are excellent. Really want to draw another orange card here so we can hopefully play Agitator on 2. Look at that enemy's hand and choose a card. It becomes ephemeral, unburnable, and its mana cost increases by 3. Well, that was rude. That was the one I wanted to burn, opponent. I like this design on their, like, they don't have, like, discard spells in this game, really, but this making cards more expensive and unburnable is a type of disruption that a number of their designs have, and I greatly prefer it to, like, how Magic does discard spells. Gonna burn another Giant Stairway here, I think. I unfortunately don't have anything to do with my mana this turn. They made this unburnable. I need orange to play this. So there's not resource variance in this game in the terms of the number of resources you draw, but when you're playing multiple colored decks, there is variance in, well, did I draw enough orange cards to play my orange 2 drop early? Yeah, this will definitely be up on YouTube, Alec. All my stuff ends up there pretty much. This normally gives my other things a move action when it comes into play, but I just don't have anything else going on, so we're going to play it out as just a 3-4 with regen. Stunned by Dorko, rude. I think we Thunderclap here, because it finishes off these things build back up and draw more cards if they survive too long. So I think I gotta do this because it basically stops them from doing that. These are gonna trade next turn though, which sucks because this is fragile currently.
Who pulls your strings?
Oh, I missed this stage.
Every song ends.
Huh? This card. So the energy mechanic in this game is kind of similar to Planeswalker Loyalty, only it's attached to units instead of a special card type. This starts with 2 energy, and it can +1 energy to give something -2/-2. And then it has 2 down ticks abilities. One that's kind of utility, and then another one that's kind of like an ultimate style ability that can usually wins the game when it pops off. Yeah, God, most of my choices suck here.
This one's for the ladies.
I guess I throw that one back, and then we'll burn this and deploy
Reporting.
a couple of Dorkos over here.
Do we have a mission?
The Fosgrim plus Dark Passenger might let me kill this next turn. Fuck is that? Minions that threaten this have Blight 1. Well, alright. Well, we just got thoroughly fucked up that game. We just can't deploy anything that doesn't die to these. Seems like they had our number for our tiny unit deck. They messed up our curve early with their discard spells, and then we didn't have an answer to their 05. What's up, dude?
But they're going to take its own.
You can't find the remote for this TV? You don't need the remote for this TV. Okay. Oh, here. 1 second, chat.
Never pay full price.
Copy one of the opponent's artifacts or enchantments. That's not a big deal. I'll play this out over here. I think we burn the Dark Passenger here because I want to set up to get orange for the Agitator on 2 ideally. Hey, Juka. Yeah, your discard spells were really good. They broke up our curve in a way. Yeah, you don't need the remote. I turned the TV on and then you just put the switch in the dock, dude. Oh, it's tough. It's tough being 5. It's a hard knock life. Might be right to keep both of those, honestly.
Do we have a mission?
What's going on, Grapnar? Yeah, Jorg's been good. We played 4-color Enigmatic Incarnation this evening before we switched over to Mythgard, and it was sweet. For folks that mentioned they had played before, Mythgard has 2 expansions now. Well, this gives armor. Probably should have been paying attention until sunrise. So I can kill this with... I definitely want to burn for blue this turn. I could Forked Lightning to kill this, but it doesn't seem super exciting. I guess I could deploy this over here to trade. The fact that I don't have double blue here is super awkward. I guess we just do this. I guess it could also be right to just like deploy this in the middle and ignore this lane and just like try and race them. Like wait till like they commit more to the board and then clap or Forked Lightning them. Maybe that's better. By taking Mythgard deck submissions, formally Juka. I am taking deck suggestions from subs in the subs Discord. Huh. What if we thunderclap them here? Think we're trading these? We can use our orange to trade over here and we overwhelm for a little bit. And then I kind of got to decide, do I want... Do I want to try and fight on these lanes? Oh, this can suppress one of my enchantments. What's Sundown? Sundown, they just keyworded end of turn, Carafe.
To battle!
Okay, so... I feel like I want to deploy... I feel like I want to deploy a lane enchantment over here this turn, take a little bit of a hit, and then next turn I can set up the beast weakening these things and then Forked Lightning to kill them. This is Mythgard Lobstats. It's an indie card game, digital card game by the company Rhino Games. I think that's the plan. I'm gonna drop the Giants. It'd be right to drop Heaven back here too, because it lets us recover things that would otherwise die. So they silenced this for a turn. That's fine. I mean, it should if we give them Fragile too.
War unending!
This card's scary. Attacks twice. This is gonna kill this, and then this is gonna pop back up to my hand. This card closes out real fast. Yeah, Mythgard's got a lot of good innovations and little things like that in terms of game design space, and it borrows some good things as well.
Road.
Return a minion to its owner's hand. Yep. That tempo is huge while they're beating us down over here. think I'm starting here.
Fortune favors
I'm just taking another 5-ball here, or 8-ball here. Another giant stairway actually sounds pretty okay. Would I rather to play Heaven and Back over here? Nah, giant stairway sounds good. I think we're just gonna go ahead and kill this with the Forked Lightning. Well, shit.
You trespass.
It is not Hearthstone's mana system. You can turn any card into a resource, and there are colors like in Magic. There's six colors in this game. That's not going to kill it, though, right? No, wait, it's fragile, so if they attack here, these will trade. Does it have Alpha Strike? No. No, that's Frenzy. This has Alpha Strike, so if I attack in here, you can see it tells me when I go to attack in that their thing will kill mine. So, we'll hit their base for 6, then unfortunately this is going to get to eat my thing next turn. So we're not dead on board, but we're kind of dead to a stiff breeze here. Deals 5 damage to minions and players. Yeah, that'll do big. There's a good chance the deck we're playing is not very good. It's a random bad mid-range deck that had a bunch of cards I was thinking about that I threw together off stream. I'll try and lose like 1 or 2 more before we move on to something else that's probably more reasonable. Yes, yeah, one resource per turn, similar to 1 land per turn in Magic. It lets you know when you're dead. So the first two codes for the free core set are out, so that'll get you 2 of the 3 colors in Mythgard, or 2 of the 6 colors, a third of them, and they'll be releasing the rest of the codes over the course of the next little bit. So they're playing a Reanimator deck. They discarded a fatty to their bin here, a 9/9 with Overwhelm. Really glad we kept the Dark Passenger here. This will be a good way to deal with that down the line. Forked Lightning, probably not super useful here.
Do we have a mission?
Attune then.
This card's not been particularly impressive so far. The move action's not something we've really been leveraging. You can move your minions 1 spot as their action for the turn, and this gives something an extra move action, so if you want a little bit more mobility. That's not something we've really been leveraging so far. So these can trade here because they have Slayer. I think that's fine. I think we get Braggy down and just get him charging up. Hey, Binnick. Long time no chat. Yeah, we're real swell. I was thinking about you the other day. All this cold and polar vortex crap reminded me of the Omaha trip from, I don't even know how many years ago that was at this point. Indy 2, yeah, right. So we almost died on way too many Magic trips. almost dead far too many times. Are you still in Illinois? Just putting this one back here. This Dorko draws a card each turn, then puts a card from our hand back into our deck, gives a little bit of smoothing, can eventually give something frenzy to let it attack twice.
All right.
Sweet. Maybe sometime when we make it to that post-plague world that I've thought so much about, we should connect again. So when this thing dies, this is the Reanimator card, the Reanimator spell basically in the Reanimator deck. It replaces itself with the bottom card of their discard pile here, Iku Torso in this case. So you're gonna 9/9 when this dies. This is gonna be able to bump into here, which is a little annoying. These aren't trading at the moment though, right? Yeah, it's only going to -4. I don't really want to attack and initiate that trade, because then they get to smack me with a 9/9 Overwhelm next turn. I think I'm gonna go ahead and play the Insurrectionist out here, because it generates me a 2-drop, which is nice, so it fills my curve really elegantly here. I guess I should probably draw with this first and see what we get. The same silly Chevinar Beast that I keep throwing away. Braggy only draws Chevinar Beast, chat. That's all he knows how to do. Hey, thanks for the sub, Alex. I don't actually use Facebook anymore, which is where we were connected before. Since you subbed, I was gonna say you should send me your Discord, but you can just pop into my subscriber Discord now and grab me from there. Yeah, this, the Dark Passenger here is what we've been holding on to. This will give something deadly, which is great. So Braggy is gonna gain deadly and trade here with their 9/9, but he can give something frenzy on his way out, which is great. What's their bottom card in here now? It's a Hotel Barkeep. Who do we want to give frenzy to? I think I want to put... I think we give frenzy... Oh, Braggy has Defender right now because of this. Oh, he does, doesn't he? Oh, I wasn't thinking about that. Huh? We could just try and race them down here, huh? What if I give this Frenzy so it can attack twice, and then, like, drop the Giant Stairway here? I can just go ahead and 12 them over here? Their bottom card, their boner right now is the Hotel Barkeep. So I could pump this up. She has Overwhelm and crunch over this and poke them for a bit more damage here too. It doesn't seem terrible. This is going to chunk us for a little bit here, but we're not dead yet. So I can spend 4 gems to pump this up. And then crunch in here and hit them for 4 with the Overwhelm. So they get this back, but that's fine. Yeah. The turns, there's so many permutations of the turns in this game, the round timer often ticks down on me. Ooh, that's true. This is permanent. I could slide this onto here, and then if they want to attack in, they're forced to trade. Maybe that's better than trying to clock them. It might have been ambitious trying to kill them down here. But they like deploy a blocker. I can't get them next turn now.
Here, boy. Get him.
Yeah, and they just put 2 blockers down here. All right, so Thunderclap is lethal. We've got 2 of those, and Magnus is lethal. We've got 3 live draws that kill them here. Listen, chat, better lucky than good. Give him the clap. Punked him out. I think looking back on it, my play was actually wrong there. But it was nice to hit our 3 outer there after the fact. All right, we got on the scoreboard with this bad deck, so I'm gonna run it back again. Is ring shopping really this daunting, or am I overthinking it? Well, I am like the furthest thing from a romantic possible. So when Christy and I got engaged, I just took her to the ring store and had her pick it out. So depending on how particular your significant other is, proposing with a ring pop of sorts and then letting them choose the ring they're gonna wear forever is not a bad decision. You could still like do a proposal type thing if you wanted. Just like don't spend money on the ring and let them pick it out. Just be like, I want you to marry me, but you're gonna wear this thing forever, so I want you to make this decision. Yeah, but the placeholder proposal is not to be overrated. Alright, so this thing can spend a resource to deal 1 to something. So that means I don't want to deploy my 2/1 now. So I think we burn the giant stairway here and drop the Rough Rider over this way. So that way she can rough this up next turn. And no joke, I let Christy pick out her own ring, and she literally custom ordered something. So like, my lack of wanting to make a decision had never felt so validated as just like, oh, I really wouldn't have picked out the right thing because you picked out a custom one. All right, so this, if I get another orange symbol here, I can spend 2 orange to make this big enough to kill this. And then actually, I don't have anything I can spend my actual resources on here, so I haven't used my power yet. My power spends 2 resources to pump an attack into something. So we can use that too here to crunch them and overwhelm over for a little bit. Overrun over for a little bit. I've picked out her ring as well. Yeah, it's just good. Good, solid. You know they'll be content with it. This is a 4/5. Has teleport, so it can jump any number of lanes. Reduce the cost of the next enchantment you play by 2. That is an impressive stat line. Decent effect. So if I forked lightning to kill this, I can get in with this again, which is kind of appealing. Hey, Smokey, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this evening. And then I think I go ahead and burn this for my 3rd orange resource for the turn. which means I can spend 2 pumping this up to hit them for a little bit extra here, and then I can use the other one to deploy this here, and I'm deploying this next to this unit, so this way if they deploy something else here to try and block me, I can attack through and try and use my weaker unit to kill their blocker so I can keep my overrun unit alive here. I think we might be on the ignore this plan and try and race it.
Yes. Brilliant.
Okay. Guess this is a 3-2, right? So I can put this here to be able to block.
Yes.
Losing both of my Dorkos there. So this gives you your pick of 3 different units, but I only have blue. I don't have red or purple thresholds in my deck, so we're always getting the blue one here. Probably don't need 2 Ballards. And I can go ahead and deploy this. Honestly, probably. I don't want to deploy it in attack range of this because it's Edict, because it's only a 2-3. Drop this in the middle. One of the more interesting decisions you have to make with some of the more aggressive decks in Mythgard that we haven't come up yet with this one because our games have been ending by about turn 7 or 8 is that your resources you can burn all the way up to 10. But depending on what the curve of your deck looks like, it can often be right to like stop burning at like 5, 6, or 7. So then you basically just have more action in your deck. Yeah, I think that's probably gonna do us in. I was hoping to be able to race this, but they just had too many ways to sweep out our blockers here. I guess we're throwing this under a bus over here this round. I need to just get some like defensive deployments here. I guess I could drop Parry at the gates and see what we draw first before committing to throwing a chump blocker over here. And then she divination, so we can get another parry here. That sounds lovely. We have 2 resources remaining. I guess I could deploy Agitator over here because it's more resource efficient. I don't hate that. If we can dodge getting swept for another turn, we might have a shot here. But if they have another way to clean our board out, there's no way we're gonna survive another 8-ball here. If they clear this and smack us for 4, we might be okay at 6, but
The water's raw.
this is whenever they deploy an enchantment, they deal 1 to things, right? So this is gonna happen. Oh gosh. We're dead, right? Because this puts us up to 10. Yeah, good game, put it. So this lane enchantment says whenever another minion dies, it gets 2/2 till end of turn. A lot of things died there. All right, let's. I'm gonna delete this blue orange deck and write it off as a failed experiment. Let's try and play something that's actually reasonable, so we can win some games tonight. Oh, I did also have this red-purple mid-range deck that might be bad, though, too. Could play mono red. This is a deck I've played a ton, on and off. 60 matches with it. The green deck was bad. The red-green deck was good. Let's play the red-green deck for a little bit. Good old quintessential mid-range deck. Some removal, some quality units, and some 2-for-1s. My wife wore one of her grandmother's rings as her engagement ring, and we had 2 bands made out of my mom's wedding ring, mine with the gold and hers with the diamonds. That's neat. Evening set. What are you sorry for? Your deck seems sweet. I like the Rainbow Road aggressively slanted rainbow decks. They were some of my favorite last time I was playing this. Last time I was playing Mythgard. The rainbow pathway is a neat way to generate card advantage. So one thing you'll notice that I haven't talked about, that's actually really sweet, it's one of the many good game design things that Mythgard does, is you'll note that in some of the games we've had this tree of life in our hand, and in other games we have not. And this path is something that you pick out during deck building. And the path gives you this effect that happens, but it also has this pursuit line where you get a benefit when you go second in Mythgard, but what benefits you get differs depending on which one you chose with your path during deck building, which is a really great way to handle it. Magic, for example, has a really terrible play draw differential. The person on the play, generally speaking, tends to be very favored, and Mythgard handles that really elegantly by, like, instead of just like giving you this like coin like in Hearthstone where everybody gets the same bonus, getting to pick what kind of bonus you get based on how your deck works is really sweet. Hey, thanks for the 3 years, C-Unit. Welcome back. And Steph Dawnhart, welcome to the channel this evening. Thanks for the follow.
Stay close, my children.
That is a fat boy, huh? Defender, armor 105. Well, I mean, damage stays on things across turns in this game, so we get to slowly work through this chunker, but a chunker he is. I think I'm gonna burn the Iku torso here. One of the things you often do in Mythgard is you burn cards that are more expensive, because obviously you don't want them till later in the game, and burn cards don't disappear. So you see the kind of goes back into my deck animation there, and I can see on my deck tracker here that there is an Iku torso that's in my deck now. It's got an orange dot saying it's been burned already. You don't have to feel bad about burning your bombs early. You can redraw them later. I think we dropped Gallows Boy here. He has a mechanic called Slayer, so he does extra damage to minions, so he'll be able to crunch into this pretty nicely next turn. Put it on mono sapphire so far, it looks like. Mono blue. Hey, Jacob. You need what? Channeling?
Yeah.
Is that a Minecraft thing?
Oh, look after them now.
Oh, it's an enchantment for a trident? That's pretty cool. Daddy's working right now. You need to go ask your mommy, or you need to wait till I'm done, okay? I'm gonna be at 1 more hour, okay? Two half hours. I could go, mommy, okay. Be nice and quiet if Haley's sleeping, okay? Ask very nicely, thank you. Okay, I love you, bud.
Bye.
Mom's upstairs though, ask her. 1 hour or 2 half hours is approximately forever when you're 7. It is one forever. Getting this unit down sooner rather than later is nice. It uses the energy mechanic in a little bit different way than some of the other cards we've seen with it. So it starts with 2 energy, and then it slowly ticks down in energy each turn. And if it reaches 0, it turns from a 2/2. Oh, forgot to hit end turn. It goes from a 2/2 into a 4/4, and it makes the opponent discard a card at random, which is sweet. So really, really powerful payoff if this can survive a couple of turns. And hopefully with these lead strays. Oh, that's rough. Forked it up there. Got 2 cards in the bin. So this transforms when it hits my opponent, which is sweet. This turns into a 3/2. When they kill it, they have to discard a card. You can hit their face here. I think I'm just deploying Shopworn Bull here. Lets us smooth our draws a little bit, which is nice.
Come in.
This draws a card and puts a card from our hand back into our deck. And that one is not very exciting. Banishes minions with 4 health or more, so they don't really have a whole lot going on. I'll make sure we burn something at a resource this turn. Similar to only playing 1 land per turn in Magic, you can only burn 1 card per turn, so... This is a mid-range deck, so usually we want to get to about 7 or 8 mana. We don't always go to the full 10, but usually 7 or 8, so we want to make sure we're burning something the first few turns. So they have this other copy of Forked Lightning here, which deals 1 and then 2 to adjacent things, but this notably has the warded mechanic, so it doesn't take damage outside of combat, so I don't really have to worry about this grouping next to here, even though they have the Forked Lightning here. This was a great draw here. Lets me go ahead and kill this so I can keep pressuring their life total. Let's start on Raid the Tombs and see what we get. It's a good old-fashioned draw, too. Extract life isn't particularly exciting, so let's go ahead and draw here to start and see what we find. And then I think I'm actually going to burn this Lead Astray here because we drew this White Tower Warden, which needs triple green, so it sets us up for that nicely next turn. I'm going to go ahead and Ignition to kill this, like I said, and this lets us attack past them here. Wait, White Tower Warden's a super sweet card. It's kind of a card advantage engine, so it's a 5/4 that draws us a card when we burn a card. So long as we're playing a resource each turn, it's kind of like that resource didn't cost us a card. So being able to drop this on 6 and then burn a card and draw a card feels real good. Decently far ahead right now. We're ahead on board. We're a similar number of cards in hand here, too. Alright, and they spent a couple of cards to kill that, but, like, that took them a couple of cards, so... Opponent's also behind on life total, too. Yeah, kind of like landfall draw cards, a good comparison. So we'll drop this before we burn. We'll burn this Ignition here. Then we'll get to draw a card from this. This is these green cards that are warded tend to be good against the blue color because the blue color has a lot of damage-based spells, so they have a hard time taking these out of play outside of combat. Hinders how they're able to interact with our stuff. Yeah, if you're someone just dropping in, by the way, saw Nathan there using the free Myth command. Mythgard as a promo for the next, I think it's to March 15th is when the code's going to expire. If you want to check out Mythgard and you want to be able to brew and build lots of sweet things without putting any money in, they're going to be giving away the entirety of their core set. There's going to be 6 different codes over the course of the next week that'll go out. The first 2 are out now. That will give you complete access to one of each code will give you complete access to a different color in the core set. And the core set in Mythgard is, I think it's 450 out of their 700 unique cards. There's the core set plus two smaller expansions. Think I bin a Raid the Tombs to start here. I don't want 2 draw 2s early, I don't think. Sets us up to burn something and play Gallows Boy on 2 here. And thanks for the follow, Nathan. There is not avocado. Is this game a lot like Magic? I don't think it's really fair to say it's strictly like one game versus another. It borrows some good ideas from a variety of the different games that exist out there. It also does a number of things that are pretty unique. Like the lane-based combat, for example. There's some other games that do some similar-ish things, but Mythgard's specific implementation of it is pretty unique compared to a lot of other card games that I've played. The resource system is, like, I think WoW, TCG, and Kaijudo have done something similar where you can turn any card into a resource at any point. Mythgard does a really good job of, because there's 6 colors and you can mix and match however you choose with those colors. Mythgard does a good job of retaining the deck building complexity that a game like Magic has while removing the very frustrating resource variance that it can have. So this powers up into something else if it hits me. So I probably want to kill this turn. Probably want to use my Crucible of Fire. I'm going to burn that since we're not playing it on 2 and just get rid of this before I can power up. A little bit of a tempo negative exchange, spending a 2-mana removal spell to kill their 1-drop, but the 1-drop gets kind of scary. It makes me discard a card if it gets bigger. Yeah, the game is on Android and iOS as well as Steam, so, and you can link your account across them. So if you have cards on one, you'll have them on the other, obviously. Okay, so now I have to decide what direction I want to go in with this. So this takes triple green. It's a really powerful payoff if I could find another green, but there's no guarantee I find another green, so I could burn this, hoping to spike a 3rd green for this next turn, or I've already got 2 cards in my bin, so I could play this. I think the right play is burn the Warden, so that way I can play the Raid the Tomes down the line. I think I'm going to go ahead and get Okadadana down here. This is one of my favorite bombs in this game. It's a 4/3 for 4 that whenever one of my other minions dies, my opponent takes 1 and I gain 1. And then when they kill this, I get to Divination 3 and draw a card. Just like, good threat, lets you push damage, and then when they eventually kill it, it replaces itself. It's really, really strong effect overall.
You look familiar.
So 2/2 with Deadly here normally would be bad for us, but we've got this Ignition here to burn it off. Sweet. And I think I'm going to go ahead and burn one of these Raid the Tombs. So we can do this to kill this. Hit them for 4, and then this has Rush, so it can attack right away, so we'll play this down over here and hit them as well. What's going on, Leaps? Good evening. Oh, you know what? I forgot to tag, Discord that I was changing games. Usually I tag the variety live when I change games midstream, but it's the evening and I'm off my normal flow. There are 2 additional expansions in the game now, Nicol Bolas, and they're running a promo for the next week or so, where you can get the entirety of the core set for free, which is pretty sweet. Move an enemy minion to an opposing unoccupied lane and stun it. Rude. Yeah, so there's 2 codes out, and they're going to be getting 2 more. And based on I'm obviously still getting back. I've only been playing. I've only played probably about 10 or 12 hours since I came back into playing again, but it doesn't seem like they really power crept their new expansions a ton. So like the core set cards that they're giving away are still very competitive. Like a lot of the decks are probably somewhere between 40 and 60% core set cards, based on my estimations. Yes, and if you're looking to dip in and try those free codes, you open the store page, you gotta scroll to the right, all the way on the right in the store page is an enter code option. They're really like, not only is like this client super feature complete in terms of the software, like there's, you know, in-game deck tracker and in-client tournaments and cube drafts and 2v2, but like their devs just seem like they're really smart and they understand what they're doing, which is fantastic to see. And like giving, when your product is good, you shouldn't be afraid to give people a sample of it. And like them giving out their core set so people can brew and try the game is definitely going to bring them extra people in, almost assuredly. They moved this down. Right? Why did they move this down? Stunning it again makes sense, but why did they move this next to this? Because this trades into here, because this has Slayer 2. Alright, they have Lane Enchantment. When an occupied minion dies, flip a coin. If heads, shuffle it into the top half of its owner's deck with a +2/+2. There's like coin flip. That's kind of. I haven't seen this card before. Huh. That's a level of RNG I'm not used to out of this game. Yes, yeah, that's exactly correct. And the rarity of cards in this game, the dots tell you how many copies you can play. So one of the things that's sweet too is if you have to budget something in this game, it's not as detrimental as budgeting in most other card games because when you budget in Mythgard, you're only losing 1 copy of a mythic or 2 copies of a rare. And it means that a lot of decks, the core of them is the lower rarity cards. The lower rarity cards are the only ones you can play 3 and 4 of to make your deck consistent. So like, for example, this is a mythic and this is a mythic, but like these are rares. Yes, yeah, the other 4 are coming in the next week, I believe, Molas. Yeah, they're just conceding. Do you know how games are tagged on Twitch? Magic is not under strategy and Mythgard is not found under their cards and board. I have no idea. Yes, this green-red deck is the one the deck I've enjoyed the most since coming back, I think. And for comparison's sake, talking about core set cards versus non with the giveaway that they're doing, what is not core set in this deck? These 2 are not core set. This is not core set. These are all core. This is core. This is core. Bella is core. Yeah, there's like, I think this deck is like 30 plus core set cards in it out of the 40. Yeah, the power levels, it seems like they're doing a good job of new sets being different design space and different mechanics rather than just printing better cards, which is what you want to see. Speaking as someone who's played too many card games where they just constantly make the cards better than previously, it's nice. The ignition here with our Acolyte is great, because ignition will let us clear a blocker if they deploy it, and then if this hits my opponent, it'll turn into a mana form, which is lovely. Min Maxer, thanks for the follow. Good evening.
But because mommy just
this lets me take control of an enemy artifact. That seems like it's going to be good down the line. This is an Artifact Matters card. Yeah, it's not even just a Hearthstone thing. Like, card game power creep is a thing everywhere. And not everywhere, I don't think in a lot of places. I think we burn our 7-drop here. We don't want that too much later.
me kept by so a channel you want. That was like the same one, but
Okay, I told you, buddy. I love you, and maybe I could try and help you out. But mommy couldn't find it. It's probably not there. Your mother is very smart.
that's your mom. Mickey mom. Look at them.
I think we want to just deploy Gallows Boy here. I think I'm burning... Pillage has got to be good. I'm going to burn the Lead Astray here and drop Gallows Boy over this way. I will help you try and find the enchantment. But like I said, if mommy couldn't find it, I probably can't either, bud. So, artifact cards in this game are something I haven't talked about before, but I actually really like the design that they've taken with artifacts in this game. Unlike in a lot of other games where you need specific types of cards in order to interact with other card types like enchantment or artifacts, artifacts in this game have a durability. And the durability on the artifact, their outermost artifact, goes down when you deal damage to their health total. So you can get through their artifacts just by smacking them, which is lovely. So I'm going to ignition this, and then you can see here this one has 9 durability. When I smack them for 2, their life total goes down 2, and this goes down to 7. Then we hit them for 3, they go down 3, and this goes down 3. I'm going to raid the tomes here and see what we draw. Another Sunken Acolyte, huh? Do I want to deploy that this turn? I think I do. We'll put this over this away, so that way if they deploy a blocker here, I can cut through it. I guess I could put one kitty corner here still. Huh? So I can hit this here and hit their dome. And this is blocking this here, unfortunately. I think I'm gonna go ahead and burn this and just play the White Tower Warden here. Then next turn, if we burn something else, this lets us start drawing cards, which is great. We have a Misanthropy here that would be bad for us. It's a sweeper. Yeah. This gives everything Blight 3, which means they get -3/-3 at the start of the turn, so it's gonna kill. It's gonna kill all of my stuff. Huh. And this is awkward, so I don't really want to burn either of these. But at the same time, I want to burn a card to draw a card, and this card's already been burned once, so I can't burn it again. I think I'm just burning the False Prophet here. That'll be good down the line. I just don't have anything to do for the turn, right? I guess we do this, because this is going to die to Blight next turn anyways, and this will die to Blight. Just, like, not spending my resources here feels so bad. They have a draw 2. They have a draw 2, and that triggers these. So they're going to get to draw. They're going to get to draw 4 cards here, basically. Yeah. The window on us being able to get under their control deck is closing tightly here. We really needed them to not have one of their 2 sweepers on 5. Our mid-range deck is getting outcarded. I needed like another raid the tombs here. Every time they play an artifact, their path generates them these things. Ooh, that's a really good one. I would have only gotten 1 card out of them, so I don't think so. So this is an 8/8. When it comes into play, it draws a unit that's died back out of my discard pile. So let's grab my White Tower Warden back up. You love to see it. The thick, chunky monster. Cannot take more than 4 damage per combat either. Well, I think we're gonna have a custody battle over the court stack here. It's my court stag, and I want it now. That's mine. I made that, opponent. You can't have it. Give it back. Two. With the top 7 cards of your deck, you may choose one to add to your hand, reduce its mana cost by 4, and banish if it's still in your hand at sundown. Shuffle the rest back into your deck. Ooh, that's a really neat. And they just found a draw 2. All right. Well, if they're not deploying anything meaningful in front of this, they're only at 17 here. This thing's about to take a huge chunk out of their life total. This card seems really good with their cards that get energy when they... Their cards get energy when they play a spell. It generates an extra card advantage for them. Leave this Blight 1. So it's going to get -1/-1 every turn until it dies, which is rude. Raid the Tombs is awesome. I would love to draw 2 cards here. I think that's better than playing White Tower. It's close, though. And then this sounds lovely. Has an activated ability to deal 1 damage to them. It can't attack the turn it comes down, but it can use that. I don't think I'm burning anything at this point. I think I want to burn 1 or maybe 2 more cards, but I want the White Tower Warden to be in play when I burn them. So, like, I probably want to burn this 1 drop at this point, but I want to draw a card off of it when I do this. I plan to update that command in my chat as I go, Jotra. But following their account on Twitter, I believe, is where they're going to be posting all of the updates. If you want them all from an official source, that's a Sapo. I think we just 7 ritual here, huh? That gives me 7 3/1s. All right, do you have your second Misanthropia? So Misanthropia was the sweeper they played earlier, and it's a rare, so they can only have 2 copies of it. They don't have another Misanthropia here. These 3/1s should put them under a lot of pressure. Deal 3 to an enemy minion player or artifact. Your friendly minion armor 2 and defender. Oh, it gives it self-defender. That's pretty good. Okay, so this does 7 though, right? So that kills this. What is this? Armor 2. Okay, so I need to burn something here. I'm gonna burn the Acolyte. And then if I do this, this dies. And then we can hit their face for... Hit their face down to 1. And we can trade these here. In a pretty good spot. Awaken, gain 3 life. You gain 1 life. When you gain life, Occupied Minion gets +1. If Occupied Minion has 9 health, it gets 3 attack and overrun. Interesting. Okay, so... They gained enough life to get out of this. So I can attack this for 3. I can attack this for 3. I can attack this for 3. And then I can play this here, which kills their thing, because it does 3 when it comes down.
Slay. Take you.
And then this can hit their dome. Back down to 2. And then I can deploy Gallows Boy over this away. This lets them deploy a blocker too. Hopefully our Impel move here is going to let us sneak past these last couple points of damage. So this gives something a free move action, which can let us, yeah, they're out of resources here. Yeah, so they're dead to Impel. Sweet. We get to give this a move action. Give it wings. Smack you in the face for 3. Nice. Sneaking them out. Stretch the legs out here. Yeah, 2 Brine-bound Believers here. I'll get to run these out on turns 2 and 3. Getting these down ASAP is awesome because they tick down over 2 turns, and if they get to survive for those turns, they turn into something real scary. And then they can even get all the way up into an 8-7 if they live forever. So these are threats that demand answers very quickly from our opponents. And then this card's super annoying because it keeps coming back into play if it dies. So Lead Astray is actually the perfect answer to it here. So I'll burn this Gallows Boy. Lead Astray doesn't kill it. It shuffles it back into the deck. Just like biggity bounce here. And then if they can't have something to kill this next turn, it's going to turn into a 4/4 and make them discard a card. Which is phenomenal. And then at this point, the fact that we didn't deploy this one this turn probably means I'll end up burning this. See if they have a Lead Astray of their own here, maybe. They don't have Lead Astray of their own. This should pop off next turn, which would be great. And there's a good chance we like burn the Believer and then play the Oak next turn. I think that's the play. Burn the extra Believer, play the Oak down here. And so, again, one of the things you'll notice is it's looking like I'm going to be the beatdown in this matchup, so I'm deploying my things spread further apart here. So that way my opponent has a harder time blocking them.
There are always
Bella!
consequences.
He stunned my monster, that's rude. Bella is stunning, to be fair. So it's appropriate. Drop the bull in the middle here.
Come in.
Have a good night, Matt. Well, to be fair, Bolas, you can play a bunch without buying cards since you're going to get the full core set for free. And the free-to-play is pretty reasonable in this game. If I recall correctly. Throw the 7 ring back for now. Burn the pillage. I unfortunately only have 1 card in my bin, so I actually can't raid the tomes because there's not stuff in the tombs to raid at the moment. Oh, this thing just hit the big time? It did. Yeah, it's an 8-7 now. Got all the way leveled up. It hit that on 5. Feel like we should have a hard time losing this game. Getting that level up right away.
Reporting for duty.
Keep the big boy stunned for now. Makes sense.
Mommy?
So this would be great, except I don't have any red. I can't burn this again because I've already burned it once. I guess we'll burn that off for now. So have this kill that. I think we'll have this fight here. Then we'll deploy the Brine Bound over here. This has an activated ability, so I can pay 3 to give it +2/+2 permanently. So we'll just spend our resources doing that here, I think. Oh! Oh no, they took my monster. I guess we'll run back the Bella stun them a bunch play. Is the plan here?
There are always consequences.
Oh, you can only empower once. That makes sense. I don't have anything else I could do. We need to get a second card in our discard pile. This thing's gonna level up at the start of the next turn, which is nice. The one of Pillage has been really bad in this deck. I think I should probably cut this. We played against one of the artifact decks. I never had a window where I wanted to use it, which makes it seem like that probably means it's not worth playing. Oh, that lets them rebuy a spell. So you're going to pick Treater's Murmur back up now? Spoke too soon. Should have banished their graveyard. Oh! Oh, they picked that one up so they could play it this turn. Okay, well, speak too soon. Pillage is going to be useful here, getting rid of their Traitorous Murmur. Are you just conceding because this is gonna level up? Maybe that could have been a real life thing here too. I do think we were ahead there, but I don't know that we were guaranteed to win. Took their ball, and they are going home. The queue times are usually pretty quick, but one of the things that's nice too is while you're in the queue, you can actually go and do other things. You can there's an art gallery in the game that has all the card art in it that you can look through. You can build decks and stuff like that. Usually, I'm sure that was useful when the game was in beta and you had to wait longer for queue times, but I really don't end up waiting for queue times very often in this game. Like sub 60 seconds is usually the norm where I've been at on the ladder. Easy 7-ring ritual burn. And then with the double crucible flare here, if they deploy one blocker in front of this next turn, we'll burn a flare and then flare the blocker, and then this will get to connect and turn it into a mana war. Yep, that's exactly what we're going to see here. So we'll burn this, kill this, and then smack and transform, which is great. And then this, we got a couple triple green cards here, got a bunch of bombs in hand, but we're going to want to get this down ASAP so it can draw us cards when we burn cards. So I want to make sure the next 3 things we burn are green so we can play this on 5. We actually don't have anything to do with our resources next turn right now, so really hoping to draw like a 1 or 2 mana. 1 or 2 mana thing. I saw a little note pop up that someone was following me inside of Mythgard, which is actually one of the many sweet things this game lets you do. So if you're, hey, perfect. There's a thing we're looking for. If you're someone that gets into Mythgard, I do play a little bit off stream as well. If you follow me, it'll tell you when I'm playing games. You can actually spectate my games while I'm playing and not streaming. I play on my iPad on the couch at night sometimes. You won't be able to see my cards while I'm playing, so you can't like ghost me. But you can see what kind of decks I'm working on, ideas and stuff like that so far. There's two of the colors from the course that have been given out. So blue and 1 others. The second one went out today.
This one's for the ladies.
Oh, this is fragile right now because of winter. I shouldn't have deployed this here because these are going to trade now. That was bad. That was loose on my part. These are going to trade, but they have to discard a card at least, so that's nice. This does give me enough things in here that we can raid the tombs next turn to do something with their resources at least. So I want to burn a green card. They usually don't have anything too big. We want a Trader's Murmur early, so let's go ahead and get rid of this. And I would love to find a cheap red card with raid. And that technically qualifies, I guess, right? Not that I want to play it. Do they give a timeline for the set codes? Yeah, it should be over the next week, I believe, Bolas. Can you feel it? I can in fact feel it, Braggy. He is warded, which is annoying. I think I'm just burning this now and then playing the White Tower Warden down over this way. Drop in the middle so it's not on this this enchantment. Braggy's a little scary. What's he pop at? He gives something Frenzy on 3 and then on 4 he draws enchantments. You probably need to do something about Braggy sooner rather than later. But on B-Dale, you're catching us at the tail end. I've actually been live for a little over 4 hours. I'm gonna play for another half hour, 45 minutes or so. I'm an old man, it's getting to be past my bedtime. Usually the only time I'm up this late is, give a minion immortal until sunrise and give it sunrise, sacrifice this, and draw a card. Wait, what? How am I not playing this card? I guess it cantrips. Like that's real good, huh? I guess it does make my thing cantrips. Like it's not just free, I suppose. Think we're playing Bella and stunning this to keep it off of activating. Everything else to do with my resources this turn, though, which feels bad. Next turn we can drop Court Stag and pick the White Tower Warden back up. Yeah, warded just prevents damage, which is nice. It definitely feels strong. It's not a card that I'd looked at. Oh, this is a mythic card too. Just murdered my Bella. Bella! I definitely don't need two Magmatars. Let's do this. We'll drop Stag Boy over here and pick the old Warden back up, I think. Wait, what happened there? Oh, I clicked none. Oh, I needed to click in the middle. I'm so dumb. It's late. Yeah. I just autopiloted into clicking no. Well, shoot. That's fine. We'll give him a little bit of a handicap, huh? I didn't need my 5/4 that draws cards anyways. Joke's on you. Cast a spell, give your minions 1 attack until sunrise. Sure. They're out of resources here now, so like I get to drop Magmatar, eat this crunch over this, and then I can raid the tombs as well. So even with my misclick there, not getting the 5/4, should be okay. Let's raid to start and see what we get.
Flame, take you.
And that's my last song for the
Hello,
night.
wifey.
Okay.
How goes the Pokemoning?
We need one more raid, but our raids here are done.
Oh no.
And none of my left coasters.
Does that mean we're not gonna get the Muse?
No, we can amuse, but Articuno.
You guaranteed to get an Articuno?
In an Articuno raid, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
you don't.
if you catch it. You got any left coasters watching you?
Chat, my wife came down here to ask if any of you are on the left coast or a place that currently is having Pokemon Go raids and can invite her to a raid.
Specifically Articuno.
An Articuno raid. She's looking for Articuno raids, chat. She needs the fix. Okay, so I think we just ignore this. I have 9 resources this turn if I burn something. So I think my plan is to play this here, burn this off, and then I can wings smack them for 4, and then I can Brineborn here and Empower for the turn.
It's impressive that you can memorize all these cards from all these different games.
To be fair, I flub which keywords are called which in which games a lot.
Sure, but like, you don't have to read all the text on that to know what it does, right?
Ugh, and I didn't play around the second copy of Forked Lightning here. So the fact that I spaced my units next to each other over here means they're both going to get got by this. Perhaps a miscalculation on my part. I'm pretty sure the jargon is different game to game for legal reasons a lot of the time. So like I understand that to a degree. So Gallows. Alright, I think we're spacing our dorks out this time. So I'm going to put this over here and smack them for 4. And then I'm going to put this over here. We're going to learn from our mistake last time. And activate here and grab them for 1. I feel like we're in an okay spot. We'd be in a better spot if I had drawn the 5/4 instead of misclicking, though.
Help me. Maybe
You're going to be okay without the Articuno, I promise. You need it. She needs it real bad, chat. Okay, so this actually works out well for us. So they slid this over here. This is an ability where it can sacrifice one of our other minions to gain Immortal. So we could drop Gallows Boy, eat it, and then crunch into here. Although I don't have enough green to Gallows and Calculus here. And I kind of wanted to Calculus through this. That's a lead astray. Okay, so this lets me put this one back into their deck. And then this I can play out here, like I said, and use this to eat this. So this is immortal. Crunch on into here. and then use this to bite you, and then attack for 3. And then we've got Calculus here to clear out their next blocker, which is excellent. They did find the missing Minecraft cartridge. Were you unable to find the enchantment earlier he was looking for? Because he came back in here telling me you couldn't find the enchantment he wanted.
Reporting for duty.
No, I never came to help him.
Oh.
When he came to ask me, wrote it on a whiteboard, and they brought it down here and worked together to find all the letters on the keyboard.
Oh, so maybe they couldn't find it on their own.
Well, the font is a little bit weird for a few of the letters, so they had a hard time reading a couple of them.
Okay, so we're out of green. So even though I have 4 resources, I can't read the tomes this turn. I think I'm sitting on this because it still has 9. Here still has 11 toughness. There's no reason to burn them for 2 here. So I think we just end. This is ready to ult. So if they can't take this off the table, we're going to get to pay a bunch of life to draw 4 cards next turn. I missed lethal. How did I have lethal? This doesn't have overwhelm anymore. If that's what you're thinking. This card had overwhelm at one point. Oh, could I have... I could have terminaled these, right?
Use your
Ignition on their other blocker. The other blocker was a 4 thing. Yeah, she's great as a Toth. We actually had to lower the mattress in her crib today because she's standing up and pulling herself up. Oh, they just gave this an extra fragile. Does that let them trade here? Are these gonna trade in combat? Is that what this does? Is it fragile 1? So this is fragile 1. This is only 4, so this is 5, right? Yeah, they're giving up. Okay. Oh, terminal would have killed my wings if I would have done that over there. Sick. Hey, MTS, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this evening. Yeah, terminal voids the things. They're good, double red. This red green deck remains my favorite deck in this format so far. Relocate. Thank you for the 3rd of a year. Good evening. I appreciate the support. Mythgard Hub is the community site that posts deck lists in Toth. I am on lead this evening. What do I want to lead on here? Burn and ignition, I think. Hand's decent. Yeah, Brine-bound Believer with things like Ignition and Lead Astray to clear out potential things that could kill it tend to be strong. Getting to transform this early tends to be super powerful. So I want to make sure I burn a green card this turn so that way I can potentially play Lead Astray next turn if I need to. So again, this card starts at 2 energy. At the start of each of my turn, it ticks down, and then when it hits 0, it turns into a 4/4. Makes them discard a card. What rank am I? I think I'm gold 5. Like gold 4 to 5. All right, so they are also playing green. So it kind of appealing to empower this turn, but the problem with that is if I empower it, they could Lead Astray. Which doesn't sound great. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this, hit them for 2, play Gallows Boy out, I think. Yeah, Empower does actually last after the transform. So if you empower it and then it transforms, it ends up as a 6/6, which is strong. Look at that. We played around the lead astray. I've finally been playing enough Mythgard again that I'm starting to be able to call things that my opponents are likely to play and play around them a touch, which will improve my win rate, hopefully. First, that's always the tough part, getting into a new card game or a new format, even in a card game that you know, is like learning what tricks and common removal spells you need to be playing around. Evening Potato, welcome to the channel. You can tell me, Potato, it was my clutch lead astray play around that made you click the follow button, wasn't it? You're like, this dude's not completely washed, he's only mostly washed. Where Spirit Minion is created, deal 1 damage to your opponent and gain 1 life. Are these spirits? Other constructs.
Leave it all on the track.
Honestly, this exchange is fine for us because it puts a second thing in our bin so we can raid the tombs next turn. Sign me up for some tomb raiding. I guess we just bump into this. Do I... What am I burning? I think it's this one. I don't have anything to sacrifice to it. Feels bad to not have something to do with my resources here, but alas. That's an annoying one. Before an enemy minion attacks one of your unoccupied lands, it must first take 2 damage, and this artifact loses 2 durability. The top 4 cards of your deck, choose a spirit card to draw, shuffle the rest back into your deck. Neat. I think I'm kind of into all the cards in my hand at the moment. I'm going to drop the False Apostle down here and hit them for 1, but I think I actually might just not burn anything in this instance. Like, all of these seem like they could be useful. There's some appeal to getting up to 4 green sooner, but I don't really want to attack with this because this thing will kill it, and then these things will heal this back up later, so I'd like to avoid putting damage on this for the time being.
I remember.
I just put up a punching bag, and my bachelor suite is the best thing I've done in my adult life. Nice. The top 14 cards in the enemy player deck, you may choose 4 to banish, reshuffle their deck, and lose 1 life for each card chosen. Yeah, man, the artwork on that is something. That's not trippy at all, chat. The IP in this game is so the range on it is sweet. I could take the Terminal Calculus here, because I'd like to burn a green card next turn. Forgot this had Blast, so I was going to get to kill my tree. Do I want to give up 2 points of life on this because of this silly thing to hit them? I think so. 'Cause I feel like I'm gonna end up killing some of these, and then they're just gonna gain it back. It's close. Not attacking feels bad too. I'm gonna pass here and maybe try and set up a turn where I attack 3 times and just blow this up so they don't have a chance to heal it in the middle. Would be ideal. Wings of Abaddon, getting immortal. That could be something that we do.
Leave it all on the track.
Well, they just made that fragile, which is a little scary. Ooh. I could pillage to take this artifact from them now. That's kind of sweet. Is that even what I want to do, though? I think I want to just kill this. And this has fragile, so I really don't want to attack into their thing right now. I'm gonna burn this and then pass here. If they can't kill this, it draws me forward next turn. It costs me some life to do so, but, you know, greatness at any cost and all that. Oh, right. I keep reading about this stupid thing having blast. I'm dumb. I should have just traded it there.
Hush now.
Fragile 3. So if I burn this, I can say, okay, take control of this. And then now I can lose half my life and draw 4 cards. And then I can attack and it won't take damage and it'll gain me 3 back. Nice. How does this game compare to Runeterra? You know, I actually don't think Mythgard, thinking through the, like, types of gameplay Mythgard has, I don't know that it has a ton of parallels to Runeterra. The resource system is probably more similar to Magic with the resource variance removed. The combat has attacking and blocking, but it's positional based as opposed to one person declaring attackers and one person declaring blockers. Mythgard in general has a lot of pretty unique ideas bouncing around in it, which is one of the reasons why I like it. I think the way it's most comparable to Runeterra, honestly, is probably the quality of the software. I think Mythgard is probably the only digital card game out there that has better quality software than Legends of Runeterra does even currently.
There are always
There's more. This is probably like Runeterra is pretty feature complete compared to a lot of things, and Mythgard even goes one step further than what they have put together so far. power this year, make it a 4/4. The 4 extra cards from this ultimate are going to be tough for them to overcome here, it's looking like. That's brutal. It banishes everything with the same toughness. So I got both my X4s. Yeah, we played a bunch of this late 2018, early 2019 Horizon Fallacy. I'd been meaning to poke back in with their newer expansions, but it's just hard to smaller games like this. Just, you know, streaming's my full-time job, so streaming smaller games is tough in terms of income generation. So I was excited when they reached back out to me to do some sponsored stuff for them again. We're gonna play this and burn a couple more cards now. Sounds lovely. This lets me draw a card when I burn something. Ooh, and there's a terminal calculus to clear out this 5/5 next turn. Great.
I remember.
Well, I guess we are all the way down to 8 here, aren't we? When this has blast and I hit my thing again. I keep forgetting about the blast trigger on these.
Petty insults disgrace.
This has a demise trigger, which means it's great that we'll get to lead this astray, so it doesn't get the dies effect here. Hey, thanks for the support, Bolas. Let's burn this to see what we get to start. We draw a card with this. Another ignition. Okay, so I can lead this astray. I can calculus this, and we could double ignition this. Oh, I should have attacked with these first because of the bell. They get to play a card on my turn now. They could kill my thing that gains me life. I think we're still pretty far ahead, but I definitely should have activated and attacked. I forgot about their bell activation. Potentially do something on my turn. They did not have a thing. You love to see it. It's on 3 energy again already. This is definitely the longest I've ever had this thing live. This thing ulted earlier, and now it's going to get to use a 3 cost thing. When an occupying minion dies, shuffle the top 4 cards of its owner's library as a spirit with +2/+2. That is a big in. This thing says my things have to take 2 before they attack my opponent. I can't burn any more cards here, which is unfortunate. So, give a minion demise, return it to play on the same lane with ephemeral. So I think we do that here. And drop Court Stag down over here. Pick this wing. God damn it! I did it again. Holy crap! All right, this is the last game. Hopefully that one's not gonna matter either. It's the second time I've just clicked no for some stupid reason. Yikes! Well, that could easily cost us because this thing being invulnerable as a 4 attacker with rush next turn was going to be really good.
I remember.
So I chose not to attack because they have the living sword. Is being able to refuse a trigger by accident bad? Are the buttons backwards than they are in some other places in the game? Is that real? I haven't been paying attention, but are there other yes/no prompts where the buttons are different, or just in general in terms of game design, in terms of interface design, the buttons are usually other ways? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that's actually really true. I should pass that along as feedback, because yeah, that's real bad. Okay, so this can only take 4 in combat, so I get to do this, and then this trades, and this does 1, and then this hits here, and Magmatar trades.
Flame.
I don't know. There's something wired wrong in my brain that it's late, and twice now I've misclicked that. I've literally never done that before. So I don't know why, what is wrong with my brain right now that my gut says usually it's a yes/no prompt, but maybe you're right. Let's slide to the right here.
I remember.
It's definitely not like me messing that up is definitely me messing up on muscle memory. Just twice now on muscle memory, I've just completely foobarred that. Hey, Pekarax, good evening. Let's activate multiple times per turn. Wait, how did this? What am I missing? How did this get? Just dealt 2 to the minions it threatens, and it did 4 to another minion. How did it do 2 different energy abilities though? I didn't think that was the thing. Alright, I'm too tired to think about it. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I thought you could only use one energy. I thought you could only use one energy ability per turn. Is there not an action attached to perfect grade? Now I'm gonna have to go look at the card. Oh, weird. Are there any other cards in this game that don't require? Because like most, I'm not crazy, right? Most energy abilities, yeah, most energy abilities have an action attached to them. Yeah, okay, that's really strong. The fact that it gets to come in and do 6 basically is really brutal. That's super strong. All right. At any rate, again, this is Mythgard. You can check them out on their website or on Steam there. They also are giving away their core set completely for free. The first 2 codes are out for that. Someone asked earlier when the next time I'll be doing Mythgard is. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, generally speaking, at the end of my streams will be my Mythgard segments. I also have a YouTube channel. We've been doing a few hours of Mythgard a week for the last couple of weeks now, where those segments are up there. If you look at the bottom in the variety section, there's a couple of Mythgard things in that playlist for things that we've played. So I'll be back on Tuesday with more Mythgard. I'll be back on Monday in general, Monday morning. I'll be doing some Magic, followed by we're going to be starting Bug Snacks as a variety game on Monday afternoon. So hopefully some of you are on then. I'll be off all day tomorrow. I lost that game one in it because I misclicked the interface picking. I didn't pick something back up with my 8/8, and I could have had a rush minion that would have let me close the game out. I brain farted and auto prompted because the prompts are backwards than what my brain was expecting. Okay, peace.